Welcome to the Boxing Talk Show.
Fair but firm.
With the Hall of Fame boxing referee.
I'm Joe Cortez.
And co-host John Zamel for all of Las Vegas.
Come on, guys. Let's touch them up. Clean fight. I'm Joe Cortez. Fair but firm.
Okay, welcome to the Fair but Firm Show here in Las Vegas, about the entertainment capital of the world. John Zimmer is my co-host. I mean, I can't do it without John Zimmer. John Zimmer brings so much electricity to the show, and we're all ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll, like they say. I'm back on the scene with the record machine, saying, "No, Papa, do," and how do you do? Hey, guys, we're ready to tell these fans what's going on. Actually, what happened last night, John?
Baby, I'm excited, man. How often do we get to talk about on this show that we know what happened? Usually we got to talk about what's about to happen. And this week we got some exciting stuff to talk about, man. Vasily Lomachenko put on another showcase. We asked last week on our podcast, on the Fair but Firm show we do on Mondays on Facebook and YouTube. We talked about whether or not he had to put on a show, whether Vasily Lomachenko had to put on a show. He got knocked down by Linares, hurt his shoulder, and then he wasn't able to put away Pedraza. We said in order to maintain his pound-for-pound status, is he going to have to show up and show out against Anthony $1 Million Crolla? And what do you think? What do you think? He showed up and showed out?
Well, he showed up. I mean, he had Crolla crawling
last
night. I mean, Crolla was like a punching bag out there. He's a former world champion. He won the championship back in 2000. He held the title 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
But
he's no bum.
He didn't look like a champion last night. That's for sure, former champion. He just couldn't stand up. Lomachenko's power punching and his boxing skill. I mean, Lomachenko came out. He was shining last night. But you know what? What happened was in the fourth round when the referee, Jack Reed, who's always does an outstanding job as a referee, one of my favorite referees out there.
Yeah, we constantly.
And the fans were asking me, even you were asking me. You know what? Joe, what happened? I mean, he was he gave him a standing 8 count. Well, what happens in boxing is a lot of fans were confused. I was kind of confused for a second. I thought Jack was going to stop it. But
looks like he did stop it. Waved his hands.
Yeah, well, what he did was he gave him a standing 8 count. Because what happens, there's a rule in boxing that says if you get punched and you go up against the ropes and you get punched into the ropes and the ropes keep you from going down, it's like you can score it a knockdown. But
essentially, it would be a knockdown if the ropes weren't there. The rule of law.
Exactly.
Okay.
But see what happened there was he was not punched into the rope. He was already up against the ropes, and when he jumped in and tried
waved his arm
and put like a standing 8 count, I thought he was stopping it.
So did Lomachenko.
And Lomachenko was celebrating, and the inspector jumped into the ring to try to get Lomachenko to a neutral corner because the referee was saying, no, it's not over. I'm giving him a count. But it was kind of it confused the fans. It confused Lomachenko himself. It confused everybody in the arena. Everybody thought the fight was over at that moment. You know what? And technically, I thought maybe it should have been right there on the spot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the kid at Crolla took a pounding.
He didn't seem like he had a lot more fight in him. He didn't seem like, he seemed relieved that he thought he stopped it too. I mean, that's one thing I want to be clear. We're definitely not, we're not the negative show. We're not here to criticize everybody. No. But we also, we give credit where it's due. And we've given a tremendous amount of credit to Jack Reese for not stopping that Tyson Fury fight.
One of my favorite referees.
An absolutely outstanding referee. But at the same time, we have to ask the question here. I mean, do you think that was the right move? Do you think that was in the best interest of the safety of the fighter?
Well, that's one question we have to ask Jack Reese when we get him on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
We try to get a hold of him today, but unable to. But I'm sure we'll get a hold of him over the weekend, and we can maybe have him on the show on Monday.
I'd like that. He's a good friend of the show. We like him.
So if you guys tune in to the Fair but Firm show on Monday on Facebook, you could hear Jack Reese in person. So you don't miss that show on Monday. You want to hear what the referee Jack Reese had to say about his performance last night.
Yeah, I agree, man. No, absolutely. That was it was a confusing one, and it seemed dangerous. As a fight fan, I mean, that's one thing that sets our show apart. That's one thing that I love about our show better than any other show in the world. We have Joe Cortez here. Joe Cortez can provide the fighter's perspective because he fought 20 pro fights? 18?
18 and 1, yeah.
19 pro fights. He was a judge for many years. He was a referee for many years. He can provide the ref's perspective, the judge's perspective when we need it. He can provide the fighter's perspective. I think I provide the good looks, and I bring drinks sometimes. And I try and provide the fans' perspective if I can.
I don't know. You talk about good looks. You talking about me?
No. I'm not talking about not opposed. I just mean I'm trying to think of what I bring to the table because you bring all these other perspectives.
No, but you guys, you said good looks. I think you're bringing me into the table too.
Oh, yeah, us. We provide.
There you go.
I can't just keep listing things you bring. No, and but that's what's outstanding. So I couldn't wait to get on this radio today and say, Because from the fans' perspective, it seemed not only dangerous, which it did. I mean, when you saw Anthony Crolla down in the first minute of the next round, all you could think was that probably should have been stopped when it seemed like it was getting stopped. But being that I've never been in that situation, I've never reffed a title fight, let alone 100 and how many?
76
world title fights.
Yeah, but it's not about that. We know Jack Reese is a good referee.
Yes, undeniably.
And I can tell you exactly what, like I said before, we're not knocking him, just that people were confused. Now we'll try to explain in more detail on Monday why he did what he did. Fans thought he was stopping it, and he wasn't. He felt the fight was rendered up against the ropes. But I have not been able to speak to him, but I sure want him to explain to you. So that's why I say on Monday at the Fairfield Firm Show, we hope to have him on board so that he can talk about why he stopped it, why he didn't stop it. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens on Monday.
Absolutely. I mean, that was, but either way, what a showcase by Lomachenko. Definitely going on his career highlight reel. The guy looked absolutely outstanding. He looked much better than he did in the Pedraza fight. Although Pedraza is a better fighter than Anthony Crolla is. That's just the way it is. I mean, at the end of the day, Pedraza had only lost to Tank Davis. Pedraza is an excellent fighter. Crolla's past his prime and lost twice to Linares, who Lomachenko stopped. So it's kind of one of those things where you really, showcase fights are cool. They're good to help build a brand, a fighter's brand. There's nothing wrong with, you don't have to fight the top champions every single time. Nobody ever did that. But at the same time, if you're going to show up, you better show out. And he showed out. Lomachenko looked good.
No, he definitely was shining last night. He showed why he's considered pound for pound one of the top 3 in the world.
Yes.
And he definitely has it. I mean, some people have it, some people don't. This guy's been around for such a short period of time in the pros with only like 13, 14 pro fights.
Yeah, I think he's 13-1 now.
And it goes to show that when you're that kind of a superstar, it's because, I mean, not many people make it. You look around and say, wow, when have you ever heard of a fighter? I mean, I remember Leon Spinks fought Muhammad Ali and beat Muhammad Ali with only 7 fights under his belt.
Which is insane, by the way.
I mean, he was beating one of the great ones out there, but Ali had an off night. But it goes to show that in boxing, crazy things happen. But with Lomachenko, crazy things didn't happen. He definitely has the talent, and he proved to the world that he has the talent. And I mean, he won 3 different championships in 3 different weight classes. So you got to say to yourself, wow, this man is really one of the better ones out there.
Let me ask you this. I wrote an article about this week, and it has some curiosity. When you judge a fighter's legacy at the end of his career, I think it's judged on accolades and resume, right? His accolades are unbelievable. 3 world champions and three title fights in 12. 3 world championships in 12 fights is more than anybody could ever ask from anybody. But as far as resume goes, he leaves a lot to be desired. When were we going to be able to see where where would we be able to place him against all-time greats when we've never seen him face even the greats of his era? He's 31 years old, and he's not getting any younger. And I understand building a fighter's brand, but at the same time, I'd really like to see this fighter tested before he gets too old for it.
Exactly. Okay, Fred, don't go away. We're going to go into a brief commercial. We'll continue talking about Sergey Lomachenko, about his career and where he's going from here. Welcome once again to the Fairfield Firm Show here in Las Vegas, the entertainment capital. We're back, co-host John Zimmer, Joe Cortez here, talking about last night's results with Lomachenko and where he's going from here. John, I feel like Lomachenko is only 31 years of age. He doesn't get hurt that much in the fights. And I think the most I've seen him get hurt was when he got dropped by Linares, Jorge Linares.
This was a flash knockout.
And when he lost to Orlando Salido, his only loss on his record was to Orlando Salido, of which he never gave Salido a rematch. I don't know what happened there, but he's the only one ever to beat Lomachenko.
Yeah, and that fight was kind of crazy. There was a lot of, a lot of controversy surrounding that fight. But then again, a loss is a loss, and true champions don't make excuses, and he certainly hasn't.
No, exactly.
His fans, make a lot of, they talk about this, that, and the other thing, and they're kind of right to in a lot of ways. But I do love that Lomachenko has never made any excuses for that Salido fight. He said, I lost, and, now we move on from there. I got a question, though, Joe. Imagine that you're in charge of Lomachenko's career from here on out, right? You're not in charge of him making the most money. Your job is to make him be the greatest fighter of all time. Let's assume, because we don't know how good he is, let's assume he's got the talent to be the greatest of all time. What can he do now to prove that. I mean, who's out there that he can prove himself against? I mean, Kami, maybe Mikey Garcia, but you can't do anything with him until he's proven himself again because people will just say, yeah, but he just got rocked by Spence.
Lomachenko last night called out Mikey Garcia. Mm-hmm. But if he really wants to prove himself to be the best and beat the best in the world out there, I don't care what fight is out there, let him fight a heavyweight, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder.
He said pound for pound means pound for pound.
In his weight class.
Yeah, that's hysterical. Yeah, if Deontay Wilder could drop down to 135, I agree. Let's get it.
Yeah, gotta give him a machine gun. Give him a machine gun. Then he can beat Deontay Wilder.
Maybe even then. Yeah, maybe even then. No, but
Lomachenko is definitely one of the great stars in boxing today, and I tell you, there's very few that can reach that goal to get to the top of where he's at. I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, the skills that he has. And you know what? When you talk to him and you meet him in person, he's such a nice, humble young man.
Oh, he's very nice.
I did an interview with him during the Pacquiao's last fight against Adrian Broner. And he was there. And he was so kind. I said, listen, we got to do a little interview. I told him, follow me to the other side of the arena where I have our camera guy. He did so politely. He came with me. He spoke very well. He got a little confused with the English a little bit, but he spoke 95% of the time. He understood what I was talking about.
You speak a little Ukrainian, right? So
yeah. But he's really trying to be as best as he can be, not only inside the ring but outside the ring as well. He's a class act guy.
He's crazy, and his work ethic is. I don't know anybody other than maybe Floyd Mayweather who is where you look at their training videos and your mouth's hanging open because it's just insane the way that they're able to. I mean, when he goes underwater for what was his record, 4 minutes and 30 seconds underwater without a breath. That's absolutely insane.
Well, he's probably better than Houdini.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's definitely better than Houdini. He holds himself down. When you watch him, he holds his hands on the back of his head and keeps himself from coming up. Right. I mean, that's a level of discipline that I can't even begin to imagine. And that all comes from his father, Anatoly, who's instilled that in him from a young age.
I don't know why you got to do that to be a fighter. I mean,
I think it's a mental thing. I don't think it's necessarily a lung thing. I think it's just if you can go 4 minutes and 30 seconds without air, then you can survive anything. I guess. I think it's just a mental toughness.
Well, I guess that's what you call being good under pressure.
That's that Ukrainian stuff, bro. Yeah. That is what you call it. Pressure your own hand underwater. I don't know.
Unbelievable.
Hey, so let me tell you some names. Let's say some names. You tell me when this fight's gonna happen. Gervonta Davis versus Lomachenko.
Well, that's a possibility for 2020.
There we go. What about Teofimo Lopez?
Teofimo Lopez, I think they kind of rushed him a little too quick.
Yeah, but he's even talking about it. I mean, I agree. He's not ready for Loma. I agree.
I'd say wait to 2021.
That sounds good. He's
young. He's young. Why rush him? I mean, he's another gold mine out there.
I think we can see Kami as an actual step-up fight for him later on this year. I think we can see Kami this year. Yeah. What about Mikey Garcia?
Mikey Garcia is one that I think is going to be next in line.
I think Mikey Garcia's got to fight another fight first, right? He's got to win. He's got to beat somebody. He's got to show that he still got it.
He should. But I think that they're going to take him on as quick as possible because they can figure they beat Mikey Garcia.
Oh, they want to maximize profitability, I think, Joe. I think they're going to try and get one more out. They're going to try and give him one showcase fight, I think. But it's possible. What, December? We could see the Lomachenko Mikey Garcia fight in December.
I guess maybe September, December. It could be, but it can happen. I think it's going to happen this year.
I think so too.
I think the fans want to see it. I think Mikey Garcia wants it now as well. But I agree with you. I think he should have one more.
They got to build that name back up a little bit.
I think the name is there. They got to build up his confidence.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense too.
His confidence levels was got to go up. I mean, Mikey got to say to himself, "Look, I just finished knocking out this guy." Instead of saying I come up from a loss to fight Lomachenko, it better get a tune-up. I don't care if he fights Joe Palooka.
Well, that's who he's going to fight, Joe.
But he got to fight somebody.
He's going to fight Joe Palooka Jr. He's going to fight his son. He's not as talented as the dad was.
Oh, these Palookas out there. There's so many of them sometimes.
Yeah, there are. There are a lot of Palookas. Speaking of Palookas, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez is continuing his long career against Palookas. He's fought a long career at super middleweight. He had a title. He had, I think, 5-6 defenses. And then now he moved up to light heavyweight, and he looked good last night, like he always does. He fought the guy whose name no one will ever remember, and he hurt him in the first round with a rib shot. And then he eventually retired on his stool in the fourth round. You think we're ever going to get a chance to see what he's made of? And if so, is it going to be at light heavyweight? Because there's some killers at super middleweight that he avoided for years. Is he going to be able to do the same thing at light heavyweight? Because there's some monsters there.
I think he can do the same. You know what happened? That he knows that he's a tall fighter, and he he feels your body as you get older, we all know, tend to put on some weight. It's kind of hard to take it off.
I know that.
And he's having some difficulty making 168, and that's why he moved up to 175. But I mean, he cracked this guy's rib last night in the first round, and the other guy continued, but.
No, he didn't have it after that.
I mean, after that, when you get your rib cracked, never mind being a fighter, just any person out there.
Good luck breathing.
I mean, you have trouble with a cracked rib. But these fighters sometimes they just don't know how to quit. And
they got all that adrenaline.
Yeah, they want to keep going, but
the only way he only kept going through.
But after 4 rounds, they knew that was it for him. But Ramirez definitely going to be a star in the light heavyweight division.
I want to see him fight Kovalev, or I'd watch him fight Eleider Alvarez. Let's see what one of them is made of. Let's see what they got there, because he did avoid a lot of those sharks at 168. He avoided the Callum Smiths and the Benavidez's and all those guys for a long time. I don't want to see him do that. I want to see him tested, and he is a great fighter. There's no question. I want to see what he's really made of, man.
Yeah, well, you can't blame him for stepping up in weight, because
no, that's exciting.
When human nature kicks in and says, buddy, you had enough.
He says he's more comfortable.
Yeah, well,
he says he's more comfortable at 175.
And so would I if I was.
If I wasn't breathing.
My body was to put on that extra pound.
Yeah.
And who wants to diet and you being forced to not to eat every day because
you got to fight a guy? I don't want to fight a guy hungry.
Your body tells you got to go up to another division. So that's what he's doing, going up to 175. He's doing the right thing. It's more less dangerous for him. Anyway, we're going to keep talking about this week's past results and then talk about next week coming up. Stay tuned. We're going to a brief commercial. Take care. Welcome back again to the Fairview Firm here. Joe Cortez and my co-host John Zimmer. Good-looking John Zimmer. Talk about last night's results, and now we're talking about tonight's week. What's going to go on tonight and what's coming up next week. Of course, we know that tonight we have the young ladies that are giving it all their best.
Oof, yeah.
Shields and Hammer.
Hammer Shields, brother.
Hammer and Shields. I mean,
two undefeated warriors, both fighting to be the greatest of all time, and they both have a case at the end of this fight. Whoever wins this fight has a case for the greatest female fighter of all time, and that's exciting.
I don't know. You got these other fighters out there for the past.
Oh, I'm just saying they have a case. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they can make their own argument, right? I'm not saying that they're definitely that. But I mean, when you look at the Layla Ali's and the Chrissy Martins and the great women fighters of history, these two, whoever comes out victorious in this fight, has an argument to be that up there with them. And
when you talk about the Hammer and the Shield, I don't know. I kind of have a tendency of leaning towards the Hammer.
Yeah.
I think that's more like that. Sound like the aggressor. The Hammer and the Shield is covering up.
Well, defense wins championships, Joe. So maybe the Shield is better.
No, you got to get the offense, and
that's a good point.
And Hammer going to be swinging the Hammer all night long, and the Shield going to be trying to cover herself up. So I got to go with Hammer.
You're going with Hammer? I'll go with Shields just to have some fun.
Okay,
that's what we're doing. All right, that's good. I like that. Also, so that's going to be on Showtime tonight. And then on FS1, we have Caleb Truax versus Peter Quillen, a couple of former super middleweight title holders going up against each other.
Yeah, well, Peter Quillen's got something to prove. He got to show something tonight. If he doesn't shine tonight, that he may be looking at going towards the exit.
Oh, yeah. This is a must-win fight for both these guys.
Yeah, because, Quillen is a nice young man. They call him Kid Chocolate. And, he's... I
like that nickname.
Yeah, well, he's Cuban. Cuban American, but he named himself after Kid Chocolate, the first Cuban champion out of Cuba, and that's why they call him Kid Chocolate.
He's nice. They're both nice, and unless one of them fell off, then this should be a good fight, an evenly matched fight. PBC's been putting on these awesome cards all year long. Yeah. This is another one of those. And then on the DAZN app, you can catch Jaime Munguia going up against, I think his name, Dennis Hogan. This is another showcase fight for Munguia. They're trying to grow his star as quickly as possible because, he's already got a championship, and he's only, 22 or something like that?
And this is his fourth world title fight.
Yeah,
he's a defense.
And they know that the other, unification or some big names are going to be coming for that title soon, so they're trying to grow his star as quickly as possible, and they're right to. He's, the Tijuana Terror. He's another one in a long line of proud Tijuanan fighters like Eric Morales and countless others. They have a good history and an excellent fan base. Tijuana fans support their support those Tijuana fighters immensely. And Jaime Munguia, he's proven every step of the way. He is. The eye test shows he's a little bit behind those other champions, but he's trying to prove that that's not true. So we're excited to see what he can put on tonight. So if you want to watch boxing tonight, you have 3 different channels you can do it on top of the ESPN Plus card of yesterday. But let me ask you one more question, Joe. I think on your last pound for pound list you put out, you had Lomachenko number 1. Did last night change your mind in any way?
No, he stays up there, but I got to see him against better opposition.
You and me both, brother.
I think, if hitting a punching bag, I mean, anybody could look like a real super champion. I mean, I want to see somebody in front of you really showing you something that, some kind of talent.
Yeah, and then when you got his the biggest competition to his pound for pound throne is fighting next week. We're gonna be talking about that all next Saturday.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford against Amir Khan, who is, say what you want about Amir Khan. Amir Khan is infinitely better than Anthony Crolla. So both from the same country, but a lot better. So we're gonna be able to, if he's able to put on the kind of showcase that Loma put on yesterday, but against a better opposition, then we're gonna be saying maybe Terrence Crawford came for that crown. I mean, that's exciting, and I'm glad that Loma was able to put on the show he put on last night to maintain the spot.
I say that Amir Khan is definitely a much better fighter than all the Palookas have been fighting lately. But I think that Amir Khan really comes with good talent. However, he's seen his better days.
Yeah.
But let's see what he comes back with. I mean, we all said that about Manny Pacquiao. We thought we saw his better days, and he took Adrian Broner and kicked his butt that night.
He did
a couple of weeks back. So I mean, anything can happen in boxing way when you don't know what's going to come up next.
Absolutely. And Amir Khan is one of the most exciting fighters in the sport because he's so fast, so dangerous, and he puts himself out there to get hit. He throws bombs the whole time, and he doesn't play defense. So anything can happen. He could tag up Terrence Crawford with a good combination, and then 10 seconds later get put down. It's just you can't take your eye off that fight, and you're going to be watching the best in the world versus the most entertaining. And what more could you ask for as a fight fan? So make sure you tune in for our preview next week on that.
Exactly. And don't forget, we have our sponsors out there that have been so kind to us. We have Lomachenko, and we have the Into Boxing.
And if you want to join our family, make sure you reach out to 702-722-1353. We're looking for good sponsors. We're looking for good, good members of this team. So once again, that number is 702-722-1353.
And don't forget that we also have the show on Tuesday, the Joe Cortez Show on Facebook. You can listen to me or watch me on there. On Facebook, we have a special guest. This past week, we had Terry Buzzy Johnson from the Flamingos on the show. And the week before that, we had the Earth, Wind, and Fire on the show, the band. We had them on there on the show. So
what a great band.
We bring in good talent onto our shows on the Joe Cortez on Tuesdays. From here in Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. So make sure you tune in for that as well. Don't forget, we got Saturday, the Fair But Firm Show on radio.
Monday, the Fair But Firm Show on Facebook, on YouTube, on iTunes. We come out every Wednesday, on Spotify every Wednesday, on the podcast app, on Audio Boom, wherever you can find podcasts, you can find us.
Okay, friends. So again, we'll be talking to you on Monday on the Fair But Firm Show about this weekend results. And don't forget, in boxing, we say protect yourselves at all times, keep your guards up at all times, and remember, first and foremost, I'm fair but I'm firm. Touch 'em up.